Hey everyone, it's Dan here. I'm a freelance digital marketer, and one of the things which I thought I would start off doing is doing occasional book reviews. In the world of digital marketing, almost everything we read is online, and a lot of the actual books I end up reading are almost nothing to do with digital marketing, but a lot about business and psychology and a lot of history as well. So I thought I would start off by Be More Pirate by Sam Conniff Allende. I first came across Sam actually only about 8 weeks ago now. He spoke at the Esquire Self-Made event that I mentioned in a couple of vlogs ago. And the whole day was really good. And he finished off with this absolutely incredible talk about pirates. And you sit there and go, okay, pirates, what? So the book Be More Pirate is essentially both a history book, a business book, and kind of a framework to create a better world. If that's not too much of an overstatement, I want to go through it, explain why it's good and why you should really give it a read as well. And my knowledge of pirates comes from two key avenues. One is a 1998 episode of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, which is probably showing my age a little bit. The second is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now, if you were to think of pirates, you would probably think of Captain Jack Sparrows, maybe Captain Pugwash, you know, these very archetypal stereotypes of these sort of yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum kind of people. But the book in particular goes into an incredible amount of detail about the actual history of pirates, like the real history. Sam's book goes into an incredible amount of detail about all the incredible forward-thinking things that pirates did. For example, they offered workplace compensation, so that if you lost an eye or an arm, you would get an allocated number of pieces of eight as compensation. They had equal votes for both men and women for everyone on board ship, so that regardless whether you were the most senior person or the most lowly person on the ship, you had an equal say in how the ship was run. Not only that, there was also same-sex marriage on board, and these are the kinds of things which they were implementing in officially the golden age of piracy, which was in the early 1700s. Now, considering we're sitting here in 2018 celebrating the fact that a small number of women originally got the vote back in 1918, 100 years ago, this puts pirates at the real forefront of civil liberties for everyone involved. But this isn't just a book about sort of how great pirates were then and there. Sam's got a very good way of extracting sort of almost a framework for how those pirates went about changing things. The fact is, the vast majority of them were originally in the Royal Navy and saw the injustices that were happening there. Now, as a consequence, they wanted to change the system, but this wasn't just a case of kill everyone and revel in the anarchy that follows. The goal was to get rid of an arcane system, but actually replace it with something better, something that fulfilled the values and motivations for what they saw as the right way forward. And that meant a lot more equality and justice given the age they were in. This isn't to say that the pirates out there in those days were the kind of people who were absolutely blameless, far from it. A lot of the stereotypes that do exist do stem from original things that happened. But at the end of the day, they did this, they managed to implement real social reform on board their boats and actually ended up setting up their own pirate republic on the island of Nassau. Now, as I say, this isn't just a big history book. Sam then moves on very deftly into explaining a lot about how there are modern day pirates. There's certain people that you perhaps expect, like Elon Musk mentioned in there, but there's also loads of other sort of small key examples as to how small groups have banded together and created real social change, whether that is in regards to environment, politics, or anything else that sort of particularly aggravated people to inspire them to do something differently. One of the things which Sam mentioned very heavily in the presentation, but doesn't come across as well in the book, is the fact that this isn't just some sort of corporate framework in which you can, increase your staff's morale by 200% and help your ROI. The framework which Sam's putting in place as a way of going about and creating genuine social change is because of the problems which we as a society and we as a planet face, whether that's corporate greed and taxes on the one hand or war and famine on the other, whether it's environmental change or social injustice which is happening closer to home. All those things can technically be applied to it, and the book is absolutely littered with incredible examples of really motivating, interesting people. As I say, not major celebrities, not well-known names, who have actually gone about and used a framework which is incredibly similar in the way pirates operated as a way of creating their own form of change. Within the book, there was a single line which really struck a chord with me, and that was the fact that the average age of a pirate back in the day was between about 28 and 29. I'm 29, and I've always sort of had it in my mindset that, projects and people who are able to leverage real change are always that much older. And then you look back at these people and you realise that these aren't just sort of 28, 29-year-old sort of jollying about on a ship. These people were able to leverage thousands of other pirates in creating vast military campaigns. They were able to bring the entire Royal Navy upon them. Although it annihilated them in many years later, it shows what a huge impact they were having on something that's the might of the British Empire that day. Now, going back to the age element, the fact is that it's left me feeling very inspired on the one hand, and sort of questioning what I should be doing. I'm conscious of the fact that there's so many things out there which I do have strong opinions about, but haven't taken any action. It's left me feeling how I should approach those things and implementing my own pirate code as a way of putting together and trying to enact social change in areas which I personally feel strong about. The book itself is a really good price, and I will stick a link in the box below where you can learn more about Be More Pirate from Sam's experience, how he put the book together. If you want to go out and buy it, I highly, highly recommend it. Now, aside from this book, if you're interested in me putting together a few more videos about different books which I read, and some of them are about digital marketing, some of them are about business and self-employment, some of them are just things I find really interesting, and a big collection of them are over there, then let me know by either giving this video a thumbs up or sticking a comment in the box below. One of the things which is really hard often in my line of work is to actually get really decent book recommendations about all sorts of different things. So I hope this has helped. It's definitely worth a read. And hopefully it will leave you a bit more motivated in trying to create change for whatever that might be, whether it's super small scale about changing something in your job, or an incredibly large scale about taking on some of the major challenges which we in 2018 are facing. If it's neither of those things, it's just a really good read about the history of pirates. So I will leave it there. I hope you found that useful, and if you are interested, I will be back with another video, one way or the other, whether it's about books or whether it's about freelance life, sometime in the future. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.